English is a scavenger language. We use words every single day without thinking about where they came from. But hidden inside some of our most common technical terms are echoes from a very specific, ancient center of knowledge. Take words like algebra, algorithm, zero, cipher, and azimuth, zenith. On the surface, these are just separate pieces of mathematical and scientific vocabulary, but they share a common thread. They all trace back to Baghdad. We use these words today because during the Abbasid period, this city functioned as one of the most active intellectual hubs in human history. Starting in the late 8th century, the Abbasid Caliphate stretched from North Africa to the borders of China. This vast geographic reach drew a massive variety of cultures and languages into one unified administrative zone. At the center of it all was the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. Here, Muslim, Christian, Syriac-speaking, and Jewish scholars sat together to work on a massive state-sponsored project. This manuscript shows a precise anatomical diagram of the eye alongside Arabic text. It is a product of the Greco-Arabic translation movement. Scholars took secular Greek texts from Aristotle, Galen, and Ptolemy, translated them, and scrutinized every detail. These scholars actively synthesized and criticized that earlier research to build entirely new branches of science. These discoveries didn't jump directly from the libraries of Baghdad to the streets of London. The transmission required a complex, centuries-long network of trade and scholarship. As the Abbasid influence expanded, these scientific texts physically moved westward, traveling across the Mediterranean world. Centers of contact like Islamic Spain and Sicily became translation hubs. Here, bilingual scholars took the Arabic manuscripts and translated them into Latin, the academic language of Europe. When manuscripts arrived, they brought new disciplines with them. Take mathematics. The word algebra comes straight from the Arabic al-jabr, which translates to the reunion of broken parts. And algorithm is not a modern computing term. It's actually a Latinized mutation of a 9th century mathematician's name, al-Khwarizmi, the man who wrote the foundational treatise on algebra. Even the fundamental numbers we use arrived this way. The Hindu place value system, which included the concept of the void, originated in India, but Arabic mathematicians transmitted it westward, using the word cipher for empty space. In English, cipher eventually split into two distinct mathematical words, zero and cipher. By passing these texts to Europe, Arabic scholars provided the foundational vocabulary that the West would eventually use to build modern quantitative science and computation. They mapped the heavens, too. Astronomy became a major focus for the Abbasid scholars, and their terminology heavily influenced how we talk about space today. The word azimuth, a measurement used in navigation to find the direction of a celestial body, comes from the Arabic al-samut, meaning the ways or directions. Zenith, the point directly overhead, is a mutation of the Arabic phrase samt al-ras, meaning the way over one's head. Scribes in Old Spanish and Latin misread the letters over time, slowly shifting the spelling into the word we recognize now. And its exact opposite, the lowest point on the celestial sphere, is the nadir, derived from the Arabic nadir. This brass astrolabe shows the intricate, scientifically engraved dials and navigational markings required to make these specific astronomical calculations. Muslim astronomers relied on precise tools like this to determine time and direction. Because these astronomers mapped the skies with such intense mathematical accuracy, their specific vocabulary naturally carried over, becoming the standard language for European navigation. Back on Earth, inside the laboratories and apothecaries of the Empire, scholars were compiling massive reference works on chemistry and medicine. The word alcohol actually started as alcohol, but it didn't mean a drink. It referred to a fine, dry powder made from antimony, commonly used as an eye cosmetic. As European chemists translated these texts and experimented with the methods, the definition of alcohol mutated. By the 18th century, it shifted from describing a fine powder to describing the purified, distilled liquid intoxicant we know today. Elixir took a similar path. Coming from Greek roots into Arabic as elixir, it entered medieval Latin as an alchemical cure-all. Even the word syrup traces back to the Arabic sharab, meaning a sweetened drink. The trade routes brought everyday goods with their Arabic names into English: coffee, mattress, cotton, magazine, and tariff. These words prove that physical goods, medicines, and domestic luxuries moved constantly across this massive cultural network alongside the manuscripts. Now, Baghdad did not invent the English language. English is a Germanic language, heavily structured by Norse, French, and Latin. But as the English language evolved, it absorbed these precise terms, because Baghdad had established itself as the premier bridge for scientific exchange. El-Jub, El-Khwarizmi, Sif, El-Smut, El-Kuhul. Empires rise and fall, and capitals eventually turn to dust. But words can survive for centuries, leaving the intellectual echoes of ancient Baghdad hiding right there in our daily conversations.